Today we hear everything about communication with youth. Actually, I have nothing much to add to that. But being old, I'm old people, as you can see. I need to summarize this a little bit for myself so that I can understand. When I was 5 years old, there was an old man in my neighborhood, and he said to me, "Maarten, on this planet, you can come a long way as soon as you can count to 3. I said, 1, 2, 3. He said, good, you will go a long way. And communication is in 3 dimensions. We have 3 dimensions in our own body. We have our head, we have our gut, and we have our heart. And basically, we use our head to think what we are thinking and to think about choices we can make, even though we will never implement those choices. And for the youth of today, the head is filled with information. So if you want to be useful for the youth, you shouldn't give them information, because they have been trained. It was said 95% is irrelevant for them. Maybe even 99.9% is irrelevant for them. So all their head is doing is, like a maniac, delete any information that comes to them. So the rational, the information dimension, has been evolved into a delete function. So the head is no longer of interest to them. And if we want to talk to their heads, well, they say just, oh, talking heads. It's not about something. What was it about? Oh, I forgot. The second dimension is the gut, the intuition, the desire, what you want to do. What do we want to do? It's interesting. No, we are already doing it. You can say, let me entertain you. What will you say to you? Buzz off, man. We are already entertaining. Would you like to make a nice, funny movie for us? Buzz off, we already have a few million of such nice movies, and actually they are better. We make ourselves better movies than you make them for us. So if you want to have entertainment with them, the only thing you can do is facilitate their entertainment. Give them opportunity to entertain themselves, but not pretend to be their entertainers. That's the second dimension. Now we come to the third dimension. That is what really matters. And it is also difficult. If you talk about the dimension of the heart, Edwin, who was here, where is he? The red one? Oh no. He took off his red pullover. Edwin once told me, well, the problem with the dimension of communicating with the heart is that most marketeers have no heart. At least they don't bring it to work. There we have a problem. Because if heart is important, we must try to figure out how it works, what it is about. And for the youth, I didn't know myself. When I was 5 years old, I didn't know. And when I was 50 years old, I still didn't know. But talking to thousands of youth, I am beginning to understand a little bit. So in the end, even I learned to count to 3. The heart is about the feeling of, yeah, there's something inside of me that is really perfect. The feeling of who you really are. And that's very important. But the most important part is the adventure of getting to find out what that means, what that kind of words belong to that perfect feeling. And also the discovery that inside the heart is a source of really getting to know things, the knowledge, the real knowledge. We always, many of us, think, figure, believe, imagine that the consciousness of a human being is in the brain. Like the brain is the seat of consciousness. But if you talk too much with the youth, you are confronted with the idea that the real consciousness is, it's like how the point, the real consciousness is here. It's here, man. And if you read intelligent books, like I sometimes do, you find that the real connection of consciousness, physical connection of consciousness is in the sympathicus. So for the youth, the brain is just a tool for interacting with the environment. And it is not the consciousness of who they really are. So if you want to connect to the youth, you have to find out about how the heart works. And that's impossible unless first you find out how your own heart works. And it is all about really knowing things, really feeling and discovering who you yourself are, which means that you have to discover how the other one is. Because if I am perfect inside myself, my feeling, the only way of getting more information about that is interacting with you. Because you will show me who I really am. So that's why we are in the communication business. The youth are communicating all the time. And the purpose of this communicating is to find out for themselves and from each other who we really are. And if we want to communicate brands, in the old days it was difficult, but not so difficult. Because if we are brands in the former century, our purpose would be a religious purpose, you might say. Our purpose would be to convince the people that they should believe in us. We are the brands. As long as you believe in us, then we will be big and strong and powerful. Today, with the youth at least, it's just the other way around. If we want to try to convince them to believe in us, well, they will just think that we are a little bit pathetic. They immediately understand what we are trying to do and why it is really pathetic. Sometimes they pity us, and from out of their pity they will still buy us. But it is not really like who they are. If we want to be a brand and communicate with the youth, the religion of the brands turns 180 degrees around. So today, it is not about the brands convincing the people that they should believe in us. It's about the brands proving to the people that we really believe in them and that we want to be their friends. And whatever we have to do to make that happen, well, we have to do it. A lot about this has been said already today. I will not repeat it. Except one word is still missing today. And the key word, if you want to summarize the youth culture of today in one word, I have the right word for you. It has not been mentioned a lot today yet. Respect. Hey man, you gotta have some respect, no? Yes. You gotta have some respect. And if you feel that the other party has some respect, well, 90% of the work has been done. So whatever you do, you can do it wrong, but your intention is that you want to prove that you have some respect, that the other party matters. And because we are in a non-stop communication era, 24/7 communication, blah, blah, blah. Oh no, wah, 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 I should say. You trained me. I should say wah, wah, wah. Well, Jeroen is just like, and that the other party is for the generation I said. Before I knew Jeroen, I understood everything, but I didn't know how it was called. Then Jeroen came and he explained it to me. I said, oh, now I understand. But another aspect of the communication business is the change in the communication world, which is very important, because when we had to convince people to believe in us, we did it in a man's world. The communication business was man's business. We also had girls in this business to improve the entertainment dimension, but not for reality. The girls were just for entertainment. And some of the girls who had balls, they could stand their ground in this man's world, and they acted like important, but they were just girls with balls. Today, with this younger generation, we need a different kind of communication world, where man and woman both are equally important, and the man should be doing what they always have been doing. I can simply give an example about why girls are important for communication, apart from all the scientific publications, that girls communicate better than men. If I want to chat on the internet, I must admit that I do not try that a lot because I'm very poor at it. But I can chat with one other person at the same time, and my endurance will be 3 to 5 minutes, then I'm done. If I'm a boy, 15 years old, I could chat with maybe 10, 15 people at the same time, and my endurance would be about 30 minutes. Wow, as compared to me, that's about infinite. So you can say these boys, these Generation Einstein boys, they can communicate like madmen as compared to me. But if you take a girl of 15 years old, she can communicate at the same time with a minimum of 30 friends, and she can endure that for 3 to 5, 4, all day long. They stay in communication all the time. And if I look at it, I don't even understand it. But one thing I understand, we need in communication land this kind of communication power. Though it is beyond my understanding, I can admit that we need it. Okay, that's about it. But the key word that you have to remember is, what was it again? Respect. And one final word that's also very important. We have a school system, at least here in the West and in most other countries too. Because one key word of the heart is, Liliana just reminded me at lunchtime, is curiosity. The heart is curious. The heart wants to know things. And we have a school system to kill that. The learning desire, the desire to learn, because the children want to learn that. Then you go to school, no, Not everything, only this. You must learn this. Not everything. But the curiosity that is in the heart wants to know everything. So we must bring back and facilitate not only the children to have fun, but the children to be curious and communicate. Well, no, I'm finished, too old.